Welcome to Pre-Loved Chica. This afternoon, I am very excited to have with me Jamie Perry from Love Your Clothes. How are you, Jamie?
Very good, thank you. Yourself?
I'm very good indeed. Now, you're from Banbury at the moment, from your office there, is that right?
That's right. So I'm currently in one of our breakout spaces in Banbury. So RAP's recently moved to some new offices here. There's about 180 people working from the office, and we all work in some way around recycling, reuse, energy waste. Yeah.
Fantastic. And the thing that we're really keen to talk about today is the Love Your Clothes.
Yes. Yeah,
Tell me a little bit about what that whole thing is all about.
Okay, so without going into too much detail, we work with 50% of the clothing industry about reducing the impact that clothing has on the environment. So the production of clothing, when people buy things new all the time, and that fast fashion of buying and then throwing and buying and throwing, it creates an overuse of energy, water, waste and carbon. So we work with them to try and reduce all of those impacts. And what we found is that we needed to communicate with consumers, because a lot of that saving on waste needed to be the way that people buy and use and dispose of their clothing. So Love Your Clothes is how we communicate with consumers, and we encourage them to buy more durable clothes, and we encourage them to extend the life of their clothes by jazzing things up, or by sharing them, or by selling them on, or buying secondhand. And then at their end of life, the big thing that people, if they take away watching the show, is that no clothing should go in the bin. So it just goes, all clothing should be either be passed on or recycled. Oh,
I totally agree with that. And in fact, you got in touch with me. I found out about Love Your Clothes, and I met you in real life in Brighton, didn't we? Yeah. And that was a fabulous event.
You made a tote bag out of something, which was fantastic.
I did. It was my
very impressed with your skills, actually.
Well, it was my first experience sewing. I hope it's not going to be my last. But what I'm interested now in talking to you about is the competition that you're running in December. So tell me about these 12 jumpers of Christmas.
So again, in trying to reduce the impact of clothing, we started to have a look at Christmas jumpers. We realised that Christmas jumpers got really big over the last few years. And so we started to look at this in more detail, and how we can reduce the impact of all of these jumpers on a regular basis. So what we found out was that lots and lots of people, like 10 million people, are likely to buy a Christmas jumper. And every one of them is likely to spend on average about £30 a month. That means £300 million get spent on Christmas jumpers every year. And those jumpers don't get worn a lot. So they just get worn maybe once, twice. And you know, it just seems a hell of a lot of waste in it. So we thought, what can we do about it? So we started a competition for people to jazz up a jumper rather than buy one, to get an existing jumper and jazz it up in a Christmas way, so it reduces the carbon waste and water of buying one, and to have a bit of fun with it. So we created a 12 jumpers competition, and there's some really nice prizes that you can win. We're asking people to jazz up a jumper and send in a picture, and then those pictures we're going to be using for 12 jumpers of Christmas leading up to Christmas, and we'll announce the winner.
Oh, now I've just got a question. I have got a very green cardigan.
Very nice.
Okay, so it's secondhand, beautiful. Yeah. And I thought, would that be acceptable? Can we do cardigans, jazz up a cardigan rather than a jumper?
Absolutely, cardigan, jumper, anything that reduces you buying one, potentially, by making one. And the thing is, some people might not have the skills or time to make a jumper, and I suppose it's probably important to say to those people as well that they can still help, because they can buy a second-hand jumper, so they can give life to an item that's that's not new. So if you can't make one, you can always buy second-hand as well. But I think that cardigan is destined to have. Oh, there we go. Destined.
Look at that. I'm thinking that I might throw some snowflakes on it.
Maybe a bit of trimmings around the edge and some lights as well.
Anyway, I'm working on that. I'm going to definitely enter the competition. So really, if anyone's watching and they've got a jumper that they think would be perfect for jazzing up, how do they go about entering?
Okay, so if they go to our website, which is www.loveyourclothes.org.uk, they can find it from the homepage, but if they put /12 jumpers in, the numbers 12 and jumpers, they'll get straight to the page. On that page, it tells you how to enter, which is pretty much make your jumper, take a picture of yourself wearing it, looking really Christmassy and happy, and basically send that into us via email.
Yes.
And that's it. And
is there a closing date? Do we have to do it by a particular day?
So the closing date for it is Monday the 7th of December. So we need all entries in for that. So we haven't got too much time. But there is some help and guidance on there as well. So to try and be helpful to people who might not be expert sewers or makers, someone like myself, what we've done is we've created 5 how-to guides. So there's how to make a pudding jumper, how to make a reindeer jumper, how to make a present jumper, a bauble jumper, and so on. Then there's some templates that they can print out and they can cut out to use the materials. And then also for the people who aren't kind of seamstresses or people who haven't got really good sewing skills, there's the 4 basic stitches you need to make any of the jumpers and how you do those. So everything's there. So even if you haven't done this before, you shouldn't be afraid. And, you know, I've even got a jumper I've made that I can show you.
I want you to show me those jumpers. One I prepared earlier, as they say.
One I prepared earlier, yeah. And this is my reindeer jumper. It's made from one of our templates with a nice little bell, if you can hear that ringing. Nice little polo neck. I've been told it looks like the milk tray man. Which is, other chocolates are available. Yeah.
I like that. I like the sound effect too. That's very simple, very plain.
Yes.
But good.
I can show you a couple of others that some people in the office have made. So Sue's made this one, which is lovely. So it's a little Christmas tree. Very simple on a red jumper.
It's just buttons sewn on there. Fantastic.
We've got, this one's a nice and simple one. If doesn't involve a lot of intricate pattern cutting.
Yes.
So Christmas present. Just a square with a ribbon on into a nice red jumper.
That's really good. So are there any pictures at the I like that one. Are there any pictures at the moment, or have we got to wait until
we're kind of holding them back. I've got to say we've had some fantastic ones already in, and we've had quite a few entries so far, so it's going really well. But there's still obviously plenty of time for people to get making and enter. But no, there's some fantastic images, but we're holding them back so that we can choose the winner and then announce them for the 12 days, which we'll have some fun with.
Oh, that sounds absolutely fantastic. So any of my friends out there, any of Preloved Chica fans watching, please get your jumpers made. Let's see if we can get a winner amongst all the listeners.
It's probably worth saying is it's worth recognising that a lot of charities sell jumpers to raise money for their charities. And, you know, what I'd say to people who would normally buy those clothes for charities is that they could save by making a jumper and still making a donation to that charity. You know, so if you normally buy a jumper from a charity, then by all means make a donation to the charity still, but still jazz up a jumper to save the impact of clothing on the environment.
Oh, that sounds great, Jamie. So I think we're getting to the end of time now, but I know that you are building a new website, and there's quite a lot of resources on that website, in particular for anyone that runs workshops that are related to sewing and recycling. Can you tell me a little bit more about that? Yeah,
so the Love Your Clothes website's been around for a couple of years now. We're just creating a new iteration of it. So that new website will launch in March next year. And when that launches, we'll have 41 new videos on there that show people how to do all the basic things. So a lot of clothing gets discarded because there's a button missing or it needs hemming or really simple things. So there'll be video tips on how to do all of those things. You know, revolutionary thought, if your zip breaks, put a new one in there. So there'll be lots of tips on that. And that launches in March. And as part of that, from now, if you're involved in sewing already and you do workshops, then there's an opportunity to add your events for free. So what we're trying to do is, in a run-up to us having a new website, is really boost up that event section, because at the moment we haven't got as many events listed on there as we wanted. So if you're involved in running sewing workshops, masterclasses, seamstresses, colleges that are running things linked to sewing, you're recycling, running a swishing event, NCT sale, anything linked to extending the life of clothes, we'd love your events. It's completely free anywhere in the UK, you know, Northern Ireland, Wales, Scotland, England.
Brilliant.
And basically you just go to the website, fill out a really simple form, press submit. We look at that to make sure it's all correct, and then it just goes live. So that's completely free service, and I'd encourage people to do that.
Oh, thank you so much. That's a great resource. You know, if you're looking to take part in a workshop or you want to go to a swishing event, and they're fabulous. I'm planning to run one in Ipswich soon. So I'm definitely going to use that resource. So Jamie, thank you so much for giving up your time. It's so lovely to hear about what you're doing there at Love Your Clothes. Really appreciate that. And perhaps you'll come back and join me next year.
Yeah, I'd love to. When we get the when we're about to launch the site, perhaps I'll give you a sneak preview of all of the materials.
Oh, that'd be great. Thanks a lot. Bye for now, everyone. Bye.
Bye.